What's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Okay, let's get into it. So, unless you are living under a rock, and then that rock is buried under a mountain, and then that mountain is inside of a volcano, then you know that our new president is Donald Trump. Okay, aka Donald Trump. And this will be the last time that you hear me refer put the two terms together, which is president and Trump, aka Trump, because I intend to show him as much respect as he showed President Barack Obama. So, I wanted to come and talk about this situation because, one, it's on everybody's tongue, and two, I've had quite a few of my subscribers hit me up and ask me about talking about it. So I'm just gonna weigh in on this real quick. Like, I'm not gonna take too long to talk about it. What we have now is a situation that is out of our control at this point. For me personally, I intend to carry myself the same way I've always carried myself, which is with love and kindness and compassion towards all human beings. That is who I am. That is who I can intend to continue to be. So whatever perceptions or misperceptions or intentions that others may have, whomever those others are, as far as I'm concerned, it's not going to change who I am. It's not. I'm going to treat everyone with love and kindness and compassion, and I'm going to try to do that as long as I'm living. Okay, so you're not going to get any hate or any of that rhetoric from me. That's not who I am, and I'm not going to participate in it now. Okay. Then the other thing I was going to say is, if you find that you are dwelling in a place of anger and grief and pain regarding this whole Donald Trump situation, I suggest you get off of social media, because it is everywhere out there. And for me personally, I had to pull up off of it because I have a propensity for isolation, and I tend to have anxiety and depressive behavior behind constantly being overwhelmed and berated with images of despair and angst. I don't do well with that type of thing. So I try to remove myself from that type of media. So I know it's not for everybody. And I know it doesn't bother everybody, but if you do find yourself in a place where you're feeling kind of blue, kind of melancholy, I say pull up off of that social media. I've seen on Instagram and Twitter where people are recommending different types of movies, and I know for one that show that's on Netflix called 13, I think it is. I just saw a little snippet of that on Instagram, and it just put me in a place where I was feeling seeds of anger, and I didn't want that. So I just turned off of that. And at this present time, that's not something I'm able to watch, because I don't want anything that breeds an anger in me. I want something that breeds love. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with that movie. I'm just telling you how it affects me personally. Okay. I always want to lead with love. I don't want to lead with anger and contempt. So I try not to watch or put things in my spirit that breeds anger and contempt. Okay. So So let's talk about Trump. I have to believe that God has a plan. I will say this. If you are African American, if you are Hispanic, if you are Muslim, anybody of color, of ethnic descent, if you are a woman, okay, I think that it would be in your best interest to dot all your I's, cross all your T's. I think it would be in your best interest, if you don't own property, to buy your property as quickly as you possibly can. I think it would be in your best interest, if you are not debt free, to move towards that as quickly as you possibly can. I think if you do have a home that you are paying a mortgage on, I think it would be in your best interest to put, at least if you can, $100 extra a month towards the principal, okay, of your loan. And try to get that principal balance down as low as you possibly can, as quick as you possibly can. If you're a female, I think it would behoove you to save and to prepare yourself and govern yourself with regards to your health, with regards to your choices about your health. Govern yourself accordingly. So if you are out there and you are a confident, strong woman who enjoys her own sexual independence, you need to govern yourself accordingly. I don't think it would be in your best interest to be in the health system in any type, shape, form, or fashion underneath this new regime. Okay? In other words, protect yourself. Cover yourself, cover your bases, take care of your body, take care of your health. Okay? Because we know under this new regime, the health and wellness and well-being and care for women is not going to be there. African Americans, people of color, you need to sit your children down and you need to have conversations with them about how they carry themselves. No, they should not have to hear this conversation. Okay, I agree with that. But if you love them, you will prepare them in order to protect them. You need to have conversations with your sons and your daughters about, for lack of a better term, mouthing off. You know what I mean? Talking too much, hanging in groups, driving in certain areas, being alone while driving, be alone while walking. Excuse me. You need to have these conversations with them, okay? And try to shake as much of this naivete out of them as you possibly can, because it's my fear that this younger generation is kind of naive about what's really going on, I just think that we need to all really, really be cautious and just start really, really thinking about how we can insulate and protect ourselves, and not leave ourselves open and exposed to the devourer. Okay? There is a devourer coming. I believe this. And I believe that Trump being put into this position is one of the greatest signs of that. Okay? And for those of you who don't know what the devourer is, that is something or someone or that comes to, as the Bible says, kill, steal, and destroy. Oh, consume. Okay? And if you don't believe that there is a consumptive, devouring agenda here, then again, as my mama said, your wood is more than wet. Okay, so and that saying just means that you know, you got a real big problem. Okay, you ain't gonna be able to start no fire with wet wood, but your situation is more than just wet. Anyway, you know, that's my sum total feelings on this whole situation, is that we need to one, continue on this path, I think, of showing people love and compassion and care. I think that is first and foremost. I am not going to start talking and mistreating people that I perceive to be my enemy. What I'm going to do is treat everyone as with kindness and with love. Okay, I'm going to just continue doing that. Okay, I don't want to be this different kind of person. And the other thing is that I'm going to start insulating myself. Okay, which means that the debt that I do have out there, although it's small, I'm going to keep that debt as low and slow as I possibly can. All right. And I'm not taking on any new debt. All right. If you don't own your own home or haven't purchased your own home, get some property that you can call your own. Okay. Because I don't think that it's going to be a buyer's market for very long. All right. And lastly, if you have any adolescents of color out there, whether they be nieces and nephews or cousins, if they're your own children, sit them down and talk with them. Talk with them about being very, 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 very careful. And I don't mean just careful out here walking around on these streets. I mean careful with what school they choose. Be careful with papers that they sign. Be careful with, the crowds that they are in. Just be super, super careful, because what I have said before, and I said this on Beautiful Souls when I made a comment on Beautiful Souls video about Trump winning this morning. You know, there is a whatever goes spirit now, and that is because we've had a president who has said that whatever goes, and that whatever goes behavior is the behavior you're going to have to worry about. Okay, this is the same behavior that allows people to think they can grab a woman's vagina. It's the same behavior that it's going to allow people to feel like they can mock and berate handicapped people. Okay, it's the same spirit that talks about Muslims as if they're dogs, and Hispanics and immigrants as if they don't matter and haven't contributed to the well-being of this country. Okay, it's the same spirit that is giving the thumbs up on our African American men and women being shot dead in the street, even though they have no weapons and they have their backs turned and they have their hands up. Okay, that whatever spirit has now been let loose, free and clear. There's no more chains holding people. And if you don't prepare your young adults to recognize it, to look out for it, and how to avoid and protect themselves, I think it's important. Teach our kids how to disagree, move away, disengage. Disagree, move away, disengage. Okay? It's going to be open season out there. And however slight it is, or however blatant it is, it is. Okay? I think that's all I wanted to talk about with regards to this situation. I don't feel a sense of panic at all. I am glad, however, that after I voted on yesterday, I came on back to the country, and this is where I am. It's quiet here, and I don't have a lot of outside influence, and I'm grateful for that, because it's crazy out there right now. It's crazy how people are talking. It's crazy right now, and I don't want to feel that sense of panic. I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to get off. It really, really kind of saddens me to see a lot of people of color participating in sort of these nonsensical things like this mannequin challenge and this juju dance and all this stuff. But where was all this collective behavior when it was time to vote? It's one of the reasons why we are not going to win as a people. Just speaking specifically as an African American, we're never going to get back to that place that we were where we could all rally together, because our levels of oppression and success and what we perceive as success is not the same. Okay, so right now you have certain people who think because they're celebrities they aren't included. You have people who feel like because they are mixed race they're not included, and you have a whole generation of young people who feel like, what's the big deal? How can we rally as a people when it is more important, when we can come together more for a dance craze or a challenge than we can for voting? And that's all I'm going to say on that. So again, I wish everybody well. You guys stay safe. Keep your eyes open. Keep your ears to the ground. Stay prayed up. And until next time, honeybees, I holla.